In terms of reading this week, it was a pretty frustrating week, right up until the end, where things started to get a little bit better. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I haven't got a lot to go through this week because I've got my more detailed March wrap-up video coming up in the next couple of days. But just before I go into what went on this week, if you have a look behind me, I've just been trying out a new camera angle which I think works a lot better than how I had it before. Instead of looking at a blank wall behind me, I've shifted the angle so you can see a lot more of my books behind me, which fills in the background quite nicely. So there you go. Let me know what you think. I think it works pretty well. Now, this week the most frustrating thing as a reader is I finished all the books I set out to read in March, and I found myself with 3 days spare towards the end of the month, and I thought I could do one of two things. I could pick up something nice and short that I could rip through and add another book to what I've read, or I can get an early start on a longer work, which seemed to suit me to a T, and I thought, well, why not? Let's get a head start. And I did pick up, for the second time, Midnight Tides by Steven Erikson, book 5 in the Malazan saga. And if you'll remember one of my previous videos, I mentioned in December last year I had burnt myself out and couldn't mentally get into Midnight Tides at that point. I did remember giving it 50 pages before I put it down and shelved it for the immediate future. And coming in towards the end of March, where I was planning my April TBR, I thought, well, you know, I'm ready to pick it up again and give it another go. And this time I got through 200 pages before I thought to myself, I can't do this at the moment. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of back and forth between them with the two tribes that are on the brink of war, and you know, after 200 pages I would like to think, you know, this is going somewhere, and maybe I'm stupid and can't follow on, but it frustrated me because I've got so many other books to read, and I thought, you know, I'll give this a chance and budget for about 2 weeks to get it read, but it's just not happening. It's just not working for me, and I felt that there's little point in going on for the moment when there are other books I would rather be reading. So it does sound a bit harsh, but I think it's just my head really not quite ready for it. I think I prefer the plot lines in Malazan, where I'm reading about the Malazan Empire itself and the characters therein, with Quick Ben and all the others there that I have a bit of an affinity for. But the characters in this book, in Midnight Tide, it's a whole new continent, it's a whole new batch of characters that you have to get to know all over again. So I found that pretty frustrating. So that was the frustrating thing about the week, and I wasted the 3 days slogging through it at a snail's pace. It was just crazy. And in the end I thought, look, not doing myself any justice by forcing it. I'm putting it away again, and I'll continue the Malazan saga perhaps later on in the year. So when I did my April TBR, obviously Midnight Tides was going to take up you know, nearly half the month. So now that that's out of the picture, it gave me an opportunity to add a couple more books into my April TBR. So I'll just quickly go through what already was there. Of course, we have Swan Song by Robert R. McGammon. Very excited about this one because I'm going to do a reading vlog, just like I did with Boy's Life. I also have, I think this is the 10th Roy Grace novel in the by Peter James, which I'm keen to get into. And I've also got a classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I'm looking forward to that. And what I've added, in light of getting rid of Midnight Tides for the month, is A Darkness at Sethanon, the third and final volume in the Magician trilogy by Raymond E. Feist. Looking forward to that. I have been putting this off, and I thought, well, I'll finally get around to getting stuck in. And another edition that I've actually started reading last night is the first Alex Cross thriller by James Patterson. There's about over 20 books in the series that I own most of them, and I thought it's high time I get stuck in and try a little bit of Alex Cross. So he's meant to be really good, and have enjoyed what I've read so far. And another late arrival. Now this one I'm really excited about. It's going to be another classic that I'm going to be reading in April. So I've added 3 more books instead of having to put up with Midnight Tides. Now Sarah over at Sarah Reads and Ollie over at Criminoli are both going to be reading this one for the month of April. I think and agree with Sarah that it's kind of appropriate around Easter time to read this classic. I've heard nothing but good things. Mike over at Mike Book Reviews, he has endorsed it. A lot of people love this book, and I've known about it for quite a while. I knew of the 1972 animated film adaptation for this book, and it is Watership Down by Richard Adams. I wanted to get hold of a copy really quickly, so I just borrowed it from my local library, and looking forward to getting stuck in. So that'll be 2 classics I'll be reading this month. So bit of a change to the TBR, which is all good. That change is as good as a holiday. But the good thing is I'm feeling really good about my April TBR. It's going to be a pretty linear month. I'm pretty confident I'm going to stick to those books for the month, and I'm especially going to enjoy doing the reading vlog for Swan Song. Robert R. McCammon is an incredible author, and looking forward to get stuck in. So that is all on the reading front. As to what I've been watching, now I managed to, the other night, I had a look at Jackass Forever. I don't think I'll watch that again. The crazy stunts that those guys do is just makes you cross your legs, basically. Some of the stuff they do is just, you can't watch, especially something to do with a spider, which freaked me out. I was sitting there covering my eyes, not wanting to look. It was just horrendous, but I was curious more than anything. I wouldn't watch it again, but I'm happy to say I have experienced it. So, what else I've been watching is a couple of Marvel films I got to watch this week. I'm actually making my way through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've seen about 75% of all the movies, so I'm going back right from the beginning and doing it by phase. So watching phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4. I've finished phase 1 and I'm well into phase 2 now, where I had watched Iron Man 3, which I have seen before, and it's one of my favourite in the series, so that's all good. And apart from that, not much more going on. As I said, I will have my March wrap-up video out in the next couple of days as well, but just wanted to let you in on what happened this week and how frustrated I was. But there was a light at the end of the tunnel, where I saw it as an opportunity to add 3 more books to my TBR, and adding books to a TBR certainly isn't a problem for me. It certainly isn't a problem for most of my BookTube friends out there, and looking forward to letting you know what I think of my April reads, especially Watership Down. I'm going to be talking about that, I would imagine. But yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please offer comments below, and I'll always respond to those. And yeah, just a short one this week. So until next time, see you later.